Hi everyone, welcome. This is the second part to our celestial earrings. So in the first video, I showed you guys how to make the little planets. Today we're going to learn how to make our little stars. Now, to let you guys know, I am using an 18 gauge copper wire. I think 18 gauge is perfect for what we need. So you could use a 20 if you wanted to, or a 16, but a 16 it's going to be a little too hard to manipulate such a small little star that we're making. So as you can see, we're going to make some zigzags with our flat nose pliers. And the trick is to get your zigzags the same size. So try to bend right at the same spot where you bent, especially if your pliers are like mine, that they vary. They go from larger to smallest. So I'm almost to the back on each one of these zigzags. So that's what you want to do. Now, as you can see, I made 4 little peaks. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to take our wire and softly, don't go too crazy with this. You got to do it softly because your star will come out of shape very easily. So very softly, you're going to start to close the star. And you have to try to do this as evenly as possible. See, I was going a little too fast there, but what I did is I opened it back up and then we did it again. Just start closing it little by little and as even as possible. Look at how adorable. It's already taking shape. So for the end, we have these 2 just straight wire. We're going to go ahead and take it and bend it just very, very slightly. And we're going to do the other side just the same way. So just put your pliers there and just turn them very slightly until you have your adorable star. Now, let me tell you guys, stars are tricky. So I didn't get this the first time. So like I always say, do not get frustrated and give up if you don't get it the first time or even the second time or the third time. Just keep trying because truly when it comes to wire jewelry making, practice is going to make perfect. So here I'm going to give it 2 turns and we are going to adjust it with our pliers and then we're going to cut nice and close to the other wire there, and it's going to be a little bit too long, so I went ahead and cut it. And then what I did was turn inwards. For this tiny star, I would say I probably used about 8 inches or less of wire, and you're not going to need that much, but always give yourself enough wire to finish your project. And then all the extras, if you have a lot of extra, you can always use it for something else. Here we have our star. Isn't it so adorable? Now we're just going to attach it. And always turn your loops to the side, never back and forth, because whenever you start bending wire back and forth, it's going to get like fragile, I would say. Like it starts to become kind of stressed, you know, and then your wire can break. So you want to make sure that you're just going to the side and not doing a lot of back and forth. And there we have our little planet with our stars, and I already had that one made. So here we go. Isn't this so adorable? Now for our second part, we're going to learn how to make our hooks. So we're making the hooks out of the copper wire too. We're going to use a 20 gauge. I feel like 20 gauge is just the perfect size for hooks because they are not uncomfortable and not everybody has a big ear piercing hole. So we're going to use our flat pliers or cutters, I'm sorry. We're going to use our 6-in-1 bail making pliers. I got mine from Michael's Bead Landing. My cutter is from Hobby Lobby. We're going to use this one that's going to help us round off the wire, a flat nose and a round nose. So we're going to cut about, I would say about 2 inches to 2.5 inches. These are going to be some simple hooks. And I like to make my own hooks rather than buy them at the store because you know that your hooks are going to be good quality when you're using a good quality wire and you don't have to worry about them tarnishing or turning on people because you know that you're using your good wire. So here I cut the 2 pieces together so I can make sure they're both about the same. So right there, it's not flat, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take on the flat side of the cutters and cut. Snip right there. And we're gonna take one end with our round nose pliers, and we're just gonna make a loop. These are the simple ones. Make sure that you like and subscribe if you're wanting to learn, or if you just like to try new things with your wire jewelry. So yeah, make sure that you like and subscribe so you guys can learn lots of different techniques that I like to use. I always like to learn. I'm always learning something new. So if you would like to learn like me, this is the place you want to be. There's another type of wire that I make, hooks, that I make, and those ones are a little bit, there's a little bit more work that goes into them, but I'll show you guys that in another video. This one are the simple ones, and we're going to take our 6-in-1 bill making tool, and we're going to use the largest one way at the bottom, which is our number 6, and we're going to grab our wire like so, turn it just a bit there, and then we're going to bring the wire all the way around, creating this hook. And we're going to do the same thing with our other one. Again, push it back just a bit, just like that, and then bring your wire all the way around. And as you can see, I'm gonna have a bit of excess wire here. I like to put them together just to make sure they're pretty close in size. You don't want one hanging lower than the other. So that is pretty perfect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just a little below our loop there. And I'm going to do the same thing for both, just a little under. And then I'm going to round off the edges there with this little tool, which I'm not sure what it's called. Maybe like an edge rounder? I'm not sure. But I saw it. I never used to use this before because my cutter is pretty good. It doesn't really leave rough edges, but I thought I'd give it a try, and it's pretty good. We're gonna take our loop there, turn it to the side, and we're gonna hook our earrings. Whoops. There we go. And we're gonna hook our earrings on there. It's okay if you need to turn it, just position it in the way that you want. So I want my earring to sit that way. So we're gonna go ahead and just adjust the wire there and close. We're gonna take our end, give it a little turn, and there you have your first one completed. Galaxy earrings. I also should mention that this bead is called the Galaxy Tiger's Eye, and I purchased this one from Wild River Beads. So yeah, that's a very, very nice bead, and Wild River Beads is the only place that I've ever seen that carries it. I'm sure maybe someone else may carry it, but that's where I get my beads, and I've never been unhappy with my purchase. So I would recommend to look them up. They sell on Whatnot. It is an app where I also sell my jewelry, but I also like to shop there for my beads, and I also like to shop for other things. They have all kinds of things on Whatnot. And there you have your finished product. They're so adorable. Thank you so much for watching.